Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm absolutely delighted you've chosen to spend the next 20 minutes with me today because what we're discussing might just change the trajectory of your life. Today, we're talking about something that affects every single one of us, yet most people never properly address it: how to stop letting others control you. Now, before you think this is going to be some sort of aggressive, burn all bridges motivational speech, let me be clear, this isn't about becoming selfish or dismissive of others. This is about reclaiming your personal sovereignty, your right to make decisions based on your own values, dreams, and aspirations, rather than living your life according to someone else's blueprint.
Let me start with a story that might sound familiar. There's a woman, let's call her Sarah, who's been working in accounting for 15 years. Every Monday morning, she feels a knot in her stomach. She dreams of opening a small bakery, of creating beautiful cakes and pastries that bring joy to people's lives. But every time she mentions this dream, her family responds with the same chorus. Be realistic, Sarah. You've got a stable job. Don't be foolish. What if you fail? Sarah's trapped in what I call an invisible prison. The bars aren't made of steel. They're made of other people's fears, expectations, and limiting beliefs. And here's the thing. Sarah has the key to this prison, but she's been convinced by others that using it would be dangerous. This is what happens when we allow others to control us. We become prisoners of their vision for our lives, and we mistake their caution for wisdom, their fear for protection.
To understand how to break free, we first need to recognize how others control us. It's rarely as obvious as someone directly ordering us about. Instead, it's far more subtle and therefore far more dangerous. Emotional manipulation is perhaps the most common method. This includes guilt-tripping after everything I've done for you, fear-mongering, you'll regret this decision, and conditional love. I'll only be proud of you if you do what I want. These tactics are particularly effective because they exploit our fundamental human need for connection and approval. Social pressure works by making us feel that deviation from the norm will result in rejection or ridicule. Think about how many life decisions you've made simply because that's what people do, rather than because it aligned with your genuine desires. Financial dependency is another powerful tool. When someone controls your economic security, they often feel entitled to control your choices. This might be a parent threatening to cut off university funding unless you study what they approve of, or a partner who controls all the finances and uses this as leverage in decision-making. Information control involves someone filtering what information reaches you, presenting only the facts that support their desired outcome, whilst withholding contradictory evidence. This keeps you making decisions based on incomplete information, often leading you to conclusions that benefit them rather than you. One of the primary reasons we allow others to control us is what I call approval addiction. From childhood, most of us are conditioned to seek external validation. We learn that love, acceptance, and security come from pleasing others, from meeting their expectations. This creates a dangerous pattern. We begin to measure our self-worth by how well we conform to others' wishes, rather than by how authentic we are to ourselves. We become so accustomed to seeking external approval that we lose touch with our own inner compass. But here's what nobody tells you about approval addiction. It's never satisfied. No matter how much you bend to please others, there will always be someone with different expectations, different demands. You become a chameleon, constantly changing colors to match your environment. But in doing so, you lose sight of your true colors altogether.
When we allow others to control us, we pay a price far greater than most people realize. The most obvious cost is the life unlived, all the dreams, opportunities, and experiences we sacrifice to meet others' expectations. But there are subtler costs as well. We lose our sense of agency, our confidence in our own judgment. We become increasingly dependent on others to make decisions for us, which creates a vicious cycle. The less we exercise our decision-making muscles, the weaker they become, and the more we rely on others to think for us. Perhaps most tragically, we lose our authentic self. When you spend years modifying your behavior, your dreams, even your personality to please others, you can reach a point where you no longer know who you really are beneath all those adaptations. I've spoken to countless people who've reached middle age only to realize they've been living someone else's life. They wake up one day and ask themselves, "How did I get here? This isn't what I wanted." But by then, they feel it's too late to change course.
There are several myths that keep people trapped in cycles of external control, and I want to address these directly because they're probably running through your mind right now. Myth 1. I'm being selfish if I prioritize my own wishes. This is perhaps the most damaging myth of all. There's a profound difference between being selfish and being self-determining. Selfishness involves disregarding others' legitimate needs for your own gain. Self-determination involves making choices based on your own values while still being considerate of others. Myth 2. Others know what's best for me. Whilst others might have valuable perspectives and advice, no one knows your unique combination of talents, dreams, circumstances, and values better than you do. Others can inform your decisions, but they shouldn't make them for you. Myth 4. If I assert my independence, I'll lose important relationships. Ironically, the opposite is often true. Healthy relationships thrive when both parties are authentic and self-determining. If a relationship can only survive when you suppress your true self, then it's not a healthy relationship worth preserving. Myth 5. I'm not qualified to make my own decisions. This myth is particularly insidious because it's often reinforced by people who benefit from your dependency. The truth is, you're the only person qualified to decide what kind of life you want to live. So, how do we break free? How do we reclaim control of our lives without becoming isolated or inconsiderate? The answer lies in developing what I call personal sovereignty, the ability to be the ultimate authority in your own life whilst remaining connected and considerate towards others. Step 1. Develop self-awareness. You cannot control what you're not aware of. Start by examining your decisions, both big and small. Ask yourself, am I making this choice because it aligns with my values and desires, or because I'm trying to please someone else? Pay attention to your emotional responses. Do you feel energized and authentic when you make certain choices, or do you feel drained and resentful? Your emotions are often a reliable indicator of whether you're living authentically or according to others' expectations. Step 2. Clarify your values. Many people have never taken the time to identify their core values. They know what their parents value, what their friends value, what society values, but they've never asked themselves what they truly value. Take time to reflect on what matters most to you. Is it creativity, security, adventure, service to others, intellectual growth? Your values should be the foundation of your decisions, not others' opinions or expectations. Step 3. Set boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates, with you as the gatekeeper. They allow you to determine what influences you'll accept and which you'll reject. This might mean learning to say no without over-explaining or justifying your decisions. It might mean limiting time with people who consistently undermine your autonomy. Remember, you're not responsible for managing others' emotions about your boundaries. If someone becomes upset because you won't let them control you, that's their issue to work through, not yours to fix. Step 4. Start small. You don't need to revolutionize your entire life overnight. Start with small decisions where you choose based on your preferences rather than others' expectations. Perhaps it's choosing where to go for dinner, what to wear, or how to spend your weekend. These small acts of self-determination build your confidence and strengthen your decision-making abilities. They also signal to others that you're becoming more self-directed, which helps shift the dynamic in your relationships. Step 5. Expect resistance. When you start asserting your independence, don't be surprised if you encounter resistance from those who are accustomed to controlling you. This resistance often intensifies before it diminishes. People may escalate their controlling behaviors when they sense you're pulling away. This resistance isn't necessarily malicious. Often, people control others because they're afraid of losing you, afraid of change, afraid of their own insecurities. Understanding this can help you respond with compassion whilst maintaining your boundaries. One of the biggest concerns people have about asserting their independence is how it will affect their relationships. It's a valid concern, and I won't pretend that all your relationships will remain unchanged. Some relationships will improve dramatically. When you're living authentically, you attract and maintain relationships with people who appreciate the real you. These relationships are deeper, more satisfying, and more sustainable than those based on compliance and people-pleasing. Other relationships may become strained or even end. This is particularly likely with relationships that were primarily based on your willingness to be controlled. Whilst this can be painful, it's also liberating. You're making space in your life for relationships that are based on mutual respect and authentic connection. When you stop letting others control you, something remarkable happens. You inspire others to do the same. Your courage to live authentically gives others permission to examine their own lives and make changes where needed. You become a living example that it's possible to be both independent and loving, both self-determining and considerate. This ripple effect can transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to remember this. Your life is your masterpiece. You are both the artist and the canvas. Don't hand your brush to someone else and then wonder why the painting doesn't reflect your vision. This doesn't mean you should ignore all advice or live without considering others. It means you should be the final decision maker in your own life. Listen to others, consider their perspectives, but ultimately choose based on your own wisdom, values, and dreams. The world needs what you have to offer, but it needs the authentic you, not a watered-down version designed to please everyone else. Your unique perspective, your dreams, your way of seeing the world, these are gifts that only you can give. So, I'll leave you with this challenge. Identify one area of your life where you've been letting others control you. It might be your career, your relationships, your daily routines, or your future plans. Take one small step this week towards reclaiming control in that area. Remember, you don't need anyone's permission to live your own life. You already have all the authority you need. You just need the courage to use it. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, stay authentic, stay brave, and remember, your life is yours to live.